Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Welcome to our virtual gathering of the Westside Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm the Reverend Deanna Vandiver, your bridge minister, serving here at Westside Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and also as an affiliated community minister for love and liberation with the Church of the Larger Fellowship. I am so honored to be leading worship this morning with Anastacia-Renee, writer, TEDx speaker, Deep In podcast co-host, and interdisciplinary artist. Glorious human being. The recipient of the 2018 James W. Ray Distinguished Artist Award for Washington Artist, Literary, the Seattle Civic Poet from 2017 to 2019, and Poet in Residence at Hugo House, 2015 to 2017. Anastacia-Renee has received fellowships and residencies from Cave Canem, Hedgebrook, VONA, Artist Trust, Jack Straw, Ragdale, Mineral School, and the New Orleans Writers Residencies. Anastacia-Renee's work has been published in Foglifter Cascadia Magazine Pinwheel, The Fight and the Fiddle, Glow, The A-Line, Ms. Magazines, and a host of others. It is a joy and an honor to welcome you with us this morning. Joining us behind the scenes, but making the scenes possible, is an extraordinary technical team, making sure that this worship service is delivered to you virtually as gracefully as possible. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whomever you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. We gather today from many locations, and we take this moment to particularly acknowledge that our congregation resides on the traditional territory of the Duwamish people. In this acknowledgement, we recognize the Duwamish heritage is imbued in the mountains, valleys, waterways, and shorelines that surround us all. May we nurture our relationships with our coastal Salish neighbors, especially the Duwamish people. and our shared responsibilities to this place. At this time, we are acutely aware of the traumatic history of pandemics brought through colonization on these native cultures and the traumatic impact it has caused and causes right now in 2020. Let us take a moment to offer humble respect for this place and its peoples. Our opening words, Rakrisha Longekar of Mamuse, we shall be known. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. Come, beloveds, let us worship together. In Unitarian Universalist congregations worldwide, services began with the lighting of the chalice. A flaming chalice is a primary symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. And today our chalice lighter is John Britt.
John and his wife Alice have been members since 2010, when Westside purchased this building and the Rainier Valley congregation closed its doors. Since then, he has been an active member, serving on the board, singing and playing music, leading services on occasion, facilitating various church meetings, and working in the kitchen as a member of the hospitality ministry. He leads the marimba band, and prior to COVID, led a monthly percussion ensemble. Currently, John is one of 3 pastoral associates. Each new volunteer role is an opportunity for him to be of use, to learn more about himself, the caring and committed people of Westside, and to be seen and known by others. John was raised in a military family, moving constantly, attending a different school for each year from 9th through 12th grade, and growing up in many different places. The idea of being part of a larger, permanent, close-knit community seemed to be an elusive dream, something that other people had. Becoming a founding member of the Rainier Valley congregation in the late 1990s was the beginning of realizing that dream, and it has widened and deepened here at Westside, especially since last summer when he and Alice sold their Leshai home and moved just 3 blocks away from the church to be close to their Westside friends. John's theological perspective might be characterized as spiritual humanism. I embrace the language of reason and also of the heart. John was drawn to Unitarian Universalism as a place where questions are as important as answers, where people tend to hold on a little less tightly to their definition of, quote, truth, end quote, where they are more willing to suspend judgment, where they have not forsaken curiosity about themselves, other people, and the world around them, where learning is a journey, not a destination.
Thank you for your many gifts of service, John. Our chalice lighting words this morning are adapted from the creations of Reverend Erica Hewitt. To encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. This is our work as a religious community, to encourage one another, to be bold in engaging the world around us, as well as what scares us internally, to give one another the confidence and heart to live as fully as possible. We light this chalice, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be, as our shared ministry encourages each other and our world. And now, dear ones, you are invited to rise in body or spirit and join us in a song for these times, hymn number 1008, when our heart is in a holy place. Welcome again to our Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation. If you are with us for the first time, we are so glad you found us during this complex time. We invite you to contact us via our website, wsuu.org. We can send you our weekly electronic newsletter, the Westside Week, with information about upcoming worship services. And you can also receive the Midweek Connection, a resource for resiliency and spiritual practice. And now, invitations to community. Even as we shelter in place, there are many invitations to our community. Please check out that Westside Week for all the small group ministry and current opportunities. And we're going to begin this morning with an invitation from our community outreach ministry to participate in the Welcome Table non-perishable food drive on Saturday, May 23rd, and deepest gratitude to everyone who participated on May 16th. The Welcome Table is sponsored by Westside Interfaith Network and provides lunch, clothing, and hygiene products to well over 100 unhoused and housed low-income people every Saturday at its new location at Body of Christ Church. Because of the impacts of COVID-19, more people are having to look for food resources, especially including those undocumented who are not eligible or afraid for fear of being detained by immigration enforcement in this moment. And so on Saturday, May 23rd, our faith community is invited to bring bags of non-perishable food to the Welcome Table. The Community Outreach Committee team is asking everyone who can to donate items such as canned fruit, vegetables, tuna, soup, beans, Cheerios, and Captain Crunch are real big requests, mac and cheese, peanut butter, jelly, jam, personal hygiene products, backpacks, and blankets. And you can bring your donations directly to the welcome table at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, or you can call Regina Brennan. Thank you so much, Regina, with questions about drop-off or pickup information. Your stewardship team reminded us so clearly this spring that Westside begins with we. Deepest gratitude to everyone who is committed to pledging for the 2021 congregational year. If you've not had a chance to do so, you can contact stewardship@wsuu.org and get the support you need to make your stewardship commitment. General Assembly is the annual meeting of our Unitarian Universalist Association, and it's happening June 24th through the 28th. Participants will worship, witness, learn, connect, and make policy for the association through our democratic process. The UUA Board of Trustees passed a resolution to make the 2020 General Assembly 100% virtual. So go to uua.org/GA to register today. No travel required. Westside members are invited to join in our first ever online annual meeting after the service on Sunday, June 7th. We'll be using a Zoom meeting format and Google Forms for our voting process. It's a whole new world, and we're going to live into it together. We'll be voting on our board slate, our nominating committee, and our budget. So please plan to attend, friends. You're also invited to virtual coffee hour today, immediately following the postlude. You can stay online and then click the Zoom link that will show up in the chat box at the end of the service. It was also in the worship blast that the fabulous Shannon Day sent out this morning. The Zoom link takes you into a different meeting format so we can see each other's faces, not just a few of us. And if a gathering is large, we'll form smaller breakout groups. We do want to remind you that those are assigned randomly. So we hope you'll meet someone new and connect with someone dear to you. One of our core values as a congregation is that we aspire to be warm and welcome to everyone. In support of this important ministry, let's take a moment to picture the faces of our friends at Westside and throughout the world. Imagine the space we keep open always to welcome newcomers. We want to stay connected with each other and make new connections during our virtual service. So please type your greetings into the chat box so we know you're here and can send you love. And then if you wish, please take a moment to send a quick text or email or loving thoughts to someone you care about. We are all invited to please take a little extra time to be friendly and kind with those you encounter, however distantly, throughout your week. I always get so excited by the hellos. I invite us to regather and center ourselves. And you will find the words of our congregational affirmation on your screen. One of the most important expressions of how we are bound together as a community of faith, children, youth, and adults, is this spoken affirmation. It is a statement of our highest values as Unitarian Universalists and the promises we make to each other at Westside to create our beloved community. Please join me in our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The search for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. In a moment, we will engage in a collective act of generosity, offering our support to Westside by text or by check. As the Reverend Heather Christensen tells us, Unitarian Universalism is a grand vision of a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. That vision is embodied in a few large congregations, numerous mid-sized congregations, and many, many small congregations. No matter its size, each congregation depends on each of its members. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, energy, and resources, makes that grand vision real. Individually and together, we are Unitarian Universalists, building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. And as a congregation, we've decided to give away 1/3 of the offering each week. The contributions for the month of May will be given to the White Center Food Bank. They're helping feed a record number of people in need during this time. You can give by text 888-530-9056. And you can text edit if you want to update your payment info if you've already begun to give by text. We thank you for your generosity in helping to sustain our beloved community. Our gift of music is generously shared by the Reverend Sekou and the Holy Ghost, whose 2016 Revive Love Tour, in partnership with the Side of Love campaign and Black Lives of UU, offered space for local activists, organizers, beloveds to recharge, replenish, and rebuild. I will always be so grateful for their gifts to our world.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. The revolution has come. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. When we stand up, we already won. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. The revolution has come. What a time to be alive. When we stand up, we've already won. People all over the world are standing up, saying we ain't gonna take it no more. Speak truth to power, a change gon' come. This we know for sure. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. The revolution has come. What a time to be alive. When we stand up, we've already won. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. The revolution, it has come. What a time to be alive.
Be so. Beloveds, thank you for your spiritual practice of generosity this morning. And now I'd like to invite us to take a breath in and out. I invite you to enter with me into a spirit of prayer as I share a prayer by the beloved Reverend Elizabeth Wynn. For when I really don't want to learn this. Spirit, I would really rather not learn this. Didn't think I needed to. I thought someone else could do it. Thought a leader was coming to do it. Thought the young people could do it. Or the elders could do it. Or the professionals. I don't want to learn it because it means letting go of something I hold dear. Letting go of being someone who knows the answers. Letting go of being someone who doesn't know. Letting go of the way I see the world. Letting go of how I might have to change. Letting go of certainty, of logic, of facts, of control, of the myth that you can live on this earth and not harm. Or the myth that I can't learn anything new. Help me to learn it, please. And then help me to live what I have learned and do right by the gift of being taught. May it be so. Ashe. Amen. Each week we come together as a congregation to connect and share that which matters to us. At this time we make collective space for holding our joys and our sorrows. I share this joy from Jill Fleming and Steve Burrows. We are happy to announce the arrival of 2 more grandchildren, Bridget Louise Freeberg, born on May 6th, and Naomi Johanna Cuevas, born on May 10th. Babies, parents, and big brothers are all doing well. We give thanks. Earlier this week, I had the joy of checking in with our congregational care cluster facilitators, and I want to offer so much love and gratitude to all of you who have offered your energy and time to holding each other with care and intention through this ever-changing reality. We hold in our care the sorrow and the joy of the class of 2020, graduates from schools and colleges whose commencement has been made virtual, and whose next moves in the world of adulthood hold so many question marks, even more perhaps than usual. We hold in our care the sorrow of all who have lost loved ones to COVID-19, as well as to those suffering alone at home, in hospitals and senior housing, unable to receive visits from family and friends. Let us hold in our hearts the joys and sorrows, both known and unknown, of our beloved community. May we feel held by a vast love. May we rest in this vast love, witnessed in all our joys and all our sorrows. You are invited to breathe in and breathe out and join in song.
Holding all that I love.
Resting in this love, I invite us to begin a meditation of shared compassion. Breathing in, breathing out. You're invited to slowly close your eyes or soften your gaze as we enter together into a survival meditation by the Reverend Nathan Walker. Breathing in, I am aware of my pain. Breathing out, I am aware that I am not my pain. Breathing in, I am aware of my past. Breathing out, I am aware that I am not my past. Breathing in, I am aware of my anger. Breathing out, I am aware that I am not my anger. Breathing in, I am aware of my despair. Breathing out, I am aware that I am not my despair. Breathing in, I am aware of peace. Breathing out, I am aware that I am worthy of peace. Breathing in, I am aware of love. Breathing out, I am aware that I am worthy of love. Breathing in, I am aware of joy. Breathing out, I am aware that I am an agent of joy. Breathing in, I am aware of hope. Breathing out, I am aware that I am an agent of hope. Breathing in, I am aware. Breathing out, I am aware. I invite you to continue breathing in and out, gently returning to this place and time, perhaps opening your eyes or sharpening your gaze, breathing in and out. Give thanks. I invite you, if you will, give yourself a little loving ease in this moment. Stretch if you need to. Give yourself a gentle hug if that's available to you. Arrive. Be here now. Our reading this morning is shared by the poet Alexis Pauline Gumbs, whose poem Mixed Use is included in Encounters, Poems about Race, Ethnicity, and Identity, edited by the fabulous Paula Cole-Jones, and published by Skinner House, the Unitarian Universalist Association.
Mixed Use by Alexis Pauline Gumbs, dedicated to Sheila Broderick, a rape crisis response worker at Duke University. They used girls like me instead of mannequins in the glass windows of the Limited 2 at the Fashion Mall in Plantation, Florida, on weekends. Underweight girls like me, they found us slightly more alive than plastic. I imagine that sometimes your weekdays are like my Saturdays were then. A public stillness, breathing disguised as nothing, a mandate not to make eye contact, a fear of or hunger for the laughter that could make it all fall apart. They used girls like me instead of iron as anchors on the Paideia High School track team, 4x4 relay squad all over Georgia. Conveniently black girls like me. They called us natural talent. I imagine that sometimes your weekdays are like my Saturdays were then. A chronic inability to stay between the lines, a dizzy aversion to running in circles, a tight urge to steal the baton and run towards where home might be, forgetting the girls that depend on you. I have no way of knowing what any day, any week of yours has been, but I want to know, how do you feel useful?
Thank you for that gift of poetry. We offer gratitude as well for the beautiful gift of our anthem this morning, shared by This Is Leah, singing Good Enough, My Hands Are.
My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, and I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. I know that my arms are long enough, they're long enough, I'm good enough. My arms are long enough to give love. I know that my heart is wide enough, it's wide enough, I'm good enough. My heart is wide enough to give love. I know that my light is bright enough, it's bright enough, I'm good enough. My light is bright enough to give love. And my heart is wide enough to give love. I know that my arms are long enough to give love. My hands are strong enough to give love. Uh-oh. What problem is it? Not a problem at all. We fix. Boom. 1, 2, 3.
Such thanks for you, Leah. And it is my honor and joy to welcome Anastacia-Renee this morning.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored to be here with you all. I was very nervous. This is such an important and dear subject to me, and I want to be a vehicle and a conduit of love. My arms are big enough, my heart is big enough and wide enough, and you are good enough, and I am good enough too. I also want to say that typically this is a 2-hour sort of workshop, and so I tried to boil down and condense what I thought were the most important parts of this into 20 or so minutes. So bear with me if there are pieces that sound like they could be expanded on, because they can. This is an ongoing topic. I thought long and hard and collaboratively came to the decision that I should begin with a personal story, because we are all connected by stories. And this story leads me to how I started my path of wanting to be a staunch supporter and a bricklayer for effective allyship. And this story starts before being an ally was a buzzword, before diversity training was something we just did as part of our work practices. It starts in 1990. 1990, I went away to college. I was my mother's first child to go to college, and I grew up watching reruns of The Paper Chase and other glamorous college shows. And my mother told me on the first day of college, make sure you sit in the front row, wear a cardigan, have your backpack, make sure you have all your textbooks, go early, stay late, try to engage with the professor to let the professor know you are ready and you are interested and you are enthused. And so I did this. I showed up on the first day of college, so happy, with a song in my heart. I wrote in my notebook, I am in college, I am in college, I am in college. Must have been about 30 times. I saw the back of the professor writing on the board. It was like it was in slow motion. She's writing, she's writing. I'm thinking to myself, I have arrived. I am here in college. This is amazing. She turns to me and she says, you know, last semester, the janitor did a horrible job emptying out the trash can. I really hope you do a better job. My heart sunk. I was in shock. I was devastated. I looked around the room. People started to pour in. I moved from the front row to the very back row. I was sobbing. I noticed people were coming in. No one said anything to me. No one paid attention to me crying or being outwardly upset. I noticed I was the only Black girl in the classroom. I wanted to go home. I wanted to crawl underneath the desk. The professor, the lovely professor, began to take row attendance. There was a number of people saying, here, present. I'm still crying. She says my name and there is a pause. She says my name because she doesn't know my name. She looks around. Of course, I'm crying uncontrollably. There is a white girl, we were girls at the time, sitting next to me. She points, she touches my shoulder. She says, is that you? Are you okay? I'm sorry, is that you? Is that your name? Is she calling your name? At this point, I'm so upset and I'm also annoyed. I'm thinking, what do you care? You're probably just like the professor. You're like everyone else in this classroom. What do you care? But I tell her, I say, yes, that's me. That's my name. She stands up. She stands up and she tells the professor, this is her right here. That's her name. She's here. This was the first act of allyship that I can remember. Someone stood up for me, a stranger with nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Someone took action with love and compassion on my behalf. And I'd like to tell you that after class, we had a nice little talk, that the professor and I went to diversity training, and that, you know, we rode off into the sunset and it had a great Hollywood ending, but that's not what happened. In fact, she barely acknowledged me the rest of the term. I turned in papers she never gave me above a D+. It was really horrible. Every class period felt humiliating. Every class period, I was reduced to no one. But my ally and I remained friends. My ally continued to stand up for me and to take action. Little did I know that in 1990, that would be the seed for my effective allyship classes here in 2020. When we talk about the word allyship, I want you to keep in mind that for me, it means you're more than a nice person. I think as an innocent child and as a mother, when we raise our children, we want our children to be nice. We are told to open doors for people, to give up your seat, to lend a hand to people in need, to say good morning and greet people. And all those things are wonderful. And we do indeed need our share of nice people in the world. But I want you to be clear, an effective ally is more than just nice. An effective ally stands up and speaks on behalf of others in many ways. I'd like to offer you a formula for effective allyship. I'm a teacher, so I can't help but to request that you take notes and tell you things and stories and formulas. The formula is lowercase a plus lowercase a plus lowercase a equals capital A. Or acknowledge plus apologize plus take action equals allyship. An effective ally takes action in conjunction with being nice and compassionate. An effective ally moves beyond and through apologizing. An effective ally is not one who sits on the sidelines and waits for someone else to take action for change. For example, how would the story have gone if the young person in college with me decided to wait until the entire class was over and simply say, "Oh, Anastasia, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm deeply, deeply sorry you had to go through this," right? So I want you to keep in mind, effective allyship is a verb. It is not a noun. One who is an effective ally wakes up realizing there are things happening in the world that need an effective ally. Being an effective ally is almost like being a superhero. You realize 24/7 there are situations happening that call for someone to speak up, someone to speak out, someone to intervene, someone to make change, someone to take a step back even and analyze the situation and wonder, how can I shift the energy of the situation? When we say acknowledge, this is a big part of being an ally. To acknowledge a situation is to say a hard truth. It is to say, wow, something not so great is happening here, and I want to acknowledge the something not so great. Apologizing is a bigger apology than saying, "I'm so sorry that happened to you." I want you to consider that an acknowledgement and an apology can also sort of go hand in hand and work together as a good pair. For example, I want to acknowledge the situation that you were put in or the situation that happened to you, and I want to apologize that this is something that has happened. How can I take action to help you while moving forward? I know that it is radical to think that we could all use this formula, but I do think it's possible. I also want to give you a sort of a list of help you with this whole being an effective ally. And I also want to say it takes practice to be an effective ally. You don't wake up one day and arrive at effective allyship. It is an ongoing process. It is a 24/7 situation. Being an effective ally is not a tick on the CV. It is not something that you do from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is a way of life. It's who you are. And so I say in love, it's okay. It's okay if you say to yourself, I'm not an effective ally yet. I'm still growing. I'm still working on becoming an ally. I'm still learning. Sometimes the most effective allies are ones that take a step back, recenter, ground, and grow in effective allyship. You will be the most effective ally because you are willing to acknowledge to yourself, there's a lot of work to do. In my list, my short list, one of the first things I think that is important when becoming an effective ally is to think about what your definition of an ally is. Once you have that definition, go in and take out all the adult words, all the diversity training slogans, everything that you know to be politically correct, and then boil that down for a 9-year-old. How do you explain being an effective ally to a 9-year-old without the typical buzzwords that we are familiar with? When you do that, that's the space you want to come from for yourself. The other thing that I suggest on this vast list is to understand what it means when something is systemic. It's a term we use a lot, but if you understand what systemic means, you understand that certain things that are happening in the now are connected to old systems put in place. If we understand as effective allies that this is not a beginning of a thing, this is an ongoing thing, it helps put our effective allyship in perspective. The other, be intentional. When you set intentions, you tend to reach goals with more heart and faster. Think of effective allyship as an intention. When you wake up in the morning, you are saying to yourself, how can I be an effective ally today? What are my personal intentions? Your intention may be as small as, I am going to actually stop, look at someone in the eye and ask them with my whole heart, how are you today? And wait for the answer, right? Your intentions don't have to be lofty, but it is good as an effective ally to set an intention. Be ready to lead and be ready to follow. An effective ally knows when to stand back and let someone else lead. An effective ally can also go behind the scenes. You may see a situation and think to yourself, I really wanted to intervene, but for some reason I couldn't. A nice person says, you know, all I can do is just think about it and send good thoughts. Wish I could have done more, right? But an effective ally goes a step and says, how can I shift the energy and change the situation in other ways? Sometimes an effective ally delegates and says to someone else, I was in no position to insert myself, but here is what I recognized. Here is what I saw. Here is what I witnessed. This is what I want to share with you. This is the change that I feel that maybe I think could have been made, right? An effective ally does the dance of leading and following. An effective ally is also consistent. And being an effective ally is not a part-time job. You cannot be an effective ally Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 to 12, and then regular on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Be consistent in your allyship. As an effective ally, sadly, it's not the kind of thing you win a prize for. Be prepared for some of your best and greatest actions as an effective ally to never be acknowledged by anyone else. Be prepared to feel lonely in your effective allyship. Sometimes the greatest gifts you do will always go quiet. Only you and your highest self and God may know the effective allyship that you've done, and that's okay. Be prepared to have an accountability buddy. This work is hard. Choose someone as an effective ally to help you with this. Let them know, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. I want to stand up more and speak on other people's behalf. I want to take action. Hey, I'm using this formula. I want to talk to you. I want to connect with you once a week and tell you how I'm doing. Lastly, in effective allyship, remember about self-care. It's important to take care of yourself and to give yourself grace as you decide to undertake this huge investment in the world for being an effective allyship, an effective ally. If you're not in good shape and you're not taking care of yourself, it will be very hard to shape the world. I know this is a small list for a big topic, but I feel it's a start. And thank you so much for having me and for listening to me. I wish you well on your effective allyship journey, and I am rooting for you.
Thank you so much for the gift of your wisdom and energy, Anastacia-Renee. I give thanks for you and to you.
Yeah.
And now, beloveds, you are invited to rise in body or in spirit as we sing hymn number 134, Our World is One World.
Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that watch us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate, we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand and fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
Reverend Susan Smith says, repetition is the key to faith formation. Repetition is the key to faith formation. Repetition is the key to faith formation. I thank you, Anastacia-Renee, and I want to repeat, acknowledge, plus apologize, plus action, equal allyship. Thank you for that beautiful formula. Beloved, I offer our closing words and releasing the flame this morning with a blessing from the Reverend Cynthia Landrum. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection. Our concerns, our care for each other, our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, let us be strong, be well, be true, be loving. Our service concludes with our traditional singing of the fivefold Amen. Please join hands and body or spirit wherever you are as we sing together today. Sunday morning. Beloved, you're invited to enjoy a postlude gift by John Hanson, and then join us in virtual coffee hour as you're willing and able by clicking on the link provided in the chat box and also in the worship blast email sent to you this morning. There is a separate link for if you wish to join in conversation with your Westside board members, the lay leaders who have given so many loving gifts of service and care to all of us this year. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being a part of this worship service, this beloved community, this building of the world we dream of living in. Go in peace.